Namaste. This is JVN Devendra Kumar Gora. Today I will discuss Aristotle's Poetics. In previous lecture we have discussed the biography of Aristotle, and now we will deal with the Poetics. Aristotle's Poetics is the earliest surviving work of dramatic theory and first extant philosophical treatise to focus on literary theory. In this particular work, Aristotle tried to offer an account of what he calls poetry. Poetry is a term that derives from classical Greek term that means poet, author, maker, and in this context that include verse, drama, comedy, tragedy, satire, lyrical poetry, etc. So in this particular way he deals with tragedy, that is the most refined version of the poetry, deals with the lofty matters, and comedy that deals with the based matters. Aristotle proposes the study of poetry by analyzing its constitutive parts and then drawing general conclusions. The portion of the Poetics that survives discusses mainly tragedy and epic poetry. As we know that Aristotle wrote a treatise on comedy that has been lost. He defines poetry as a mimic, imitative, and the use of language, rhythm, harmony separately and in combination. Poetry is a mimetic in that it creates a representation of objects and events in the world, unlike philosophy, which presents ideas. Humans are naturally drawn to imitation, and so poetry has a strong pull to us. It can also be an excellent learning device since we can coolly observe imitation of things like dead bodies, distinguishing animals when the real things would disturb us. Aristotle identifies tragedy as the most refined version of poetry dealing with lofty matters, and comedy as the most refined version of poetry dealing with the base matters. He traces a brief and speculative history of tragedy as it revolves around the diphtheric hymns of praise of the god that was sung by a large chorus and sometimes featuring a narrator. Sophocles involved further by introducing third actor, and gradually tragedy shifted to its contemporary dramatic form. Aristotle defines poetry according to six component parts, like it's mimetic, it's serious, it tells a full story of appropriate length, it contains a rhyme and harmony. A rhyme and harmony occurs in different combination in different part of the tragedy. It is performed rather than narrated. It arouses feeling of pity and fear and then pursues these feelings through the catharsis. A tragedy consisted of six components, which are plot, characters, thought, diction, melody, and spectre. A well-formed plot must first we will discuss about the plot only. A well-formed plot, it has its beginning, is not a necessary consequence of any previous action, middle, which follows logically from the beginning, and end, which follows logically from the middle, from which no further action necessary follow. The plot should be united, meaning that every element of the plot should tie in it to the rest of the plots, leave no illusion. This kind of unity allows tragedy to express universal theme powerfully, which makes it superior to the history, which can only talk about particular events. Episodic plots are bad because these are necessary to the consequences of event. The best kind of plot contains surprises, but surprises fits logically into the sequence of the events. Best kind of surprises are brought about by peripheria or reversal of fortune or discovery. A good plot progresses like a knot that is tied up with increasingly greater complexity until the moment of peripheria, at which point the knot is gradually untied until it reaches a completely knotted conclusion. Thank you very much.